Welcome to Scoreboard, the podcast that explores how athletes, both current and retired, define success beyond the game. Each episode dives into the mindset, financial decisions, and career choices that shape their personal scoreboard, whether they're still in the arena or transitioning to life after sport. From victories to challenges, we reveal how athletes take charge of their own paths and decide what truly matters on their scoreboard of life. I'm your host, Chris Titley, and welcome to Scoreboard. Hi, it's Chris Titley here. As part of the Scoreboard podcast series, I'm joined by Grace Brown. Grace, thank you so much for being part of this series.
Really happy to be on here, Chris. Thanks for having me.
Grace, I'm going to start by asking you how you're feeling right now in retirement.
Yeah, it's been almost 2 weeks that I've been retired, 32 and retired. It's a strange feeling, actually. I think, I don't know. I think that I planned it pretty well, but even with the best plans, it's a big change, and getting used to shifting my mentality a bit is gonna take a while, I think.
Yeah, no, for sure. And while we're on 2024, can we talk about your reflections of 2024 so far?
Yeah, it's been a huge year for me. So I announced quite early in the year that I was retiring from professional cycling. Pretty much since that announcement, I've had the best season of results that I've ever had. I won in April monument race, Liège-Bastogne-Liège, which is considered one of the hardest races on the professional calendar. And then at the Paris Olympics, I won a gold medal in the individual time trial. And I also won the World Championships in September. So, it's been a huge year. I feel really, privileged, I guess, to be able to bow out on such a high note.
Absolutely. Right at the high of your career, the best in the world at what you do. How does that feel when I say that?
I'm still, learning to wear it. I think, it comes a little bit with, I guess you could label it imposter syndrome. I started cycling a bit later than many, and it's taken me a while to accept that it's something I'm actually really good at and feel like I belong there, rather than, sort of being someone that's gate crashed the party.
I think imposter syndrome is very relevant in lots of aspects in life, from sport to business, etc. But I'm curious to know what you think your superpower is.
My superpower? Gosh, I don't know. I think I'm really good at breaking down big goals and just taking it a step at a time, not getting overwhelmed by it. Just taking that first step in something that would otherwise seem big and risky. Just chipping away.
So when it comes to a BHAG, a big, hairy, audacious goal, was it set early, or was it set later? And then I suppose then you break it down into doing various goals or focusing on the weekend. Is it always in the back of your mind?
I think I wouldn't say that I set the goals that I achieved this year like a long time ago. I think it's been a process year on year of being, okay, well, now I'm here. I think I can go after this goal. I think I'm capable of that. But it's been a building process of, okay, I want to get the best out of myself. What does the best look for me? Or like in my mind, I think often it's been, okay, this is what I think is achievable. Let's aim for a bit over that and see where we get. And quite often I end up achieving, that bit more than what I thought was possible. Because I've just left it a little bit open. I haven't limited myself with the goals.
It's not like a complete structured. It's quite reasonably flexible for you.
Yeah.
And the self-confidence and self-belief in setting those goals and then achieving those goals, where do you think that's come from?
Definitely a lot from the people I've surrounded myself with. From the start, my family, my parents and my husband have always really believed in what I can do and supported me in my decisions, which is huge, I think, for anyone going after big goals. And then, along the way within the sport, I've picked up, people in my team that have really, I guess, invested in me and gone in on the goals as well. So, there's a few, like my professional team, my coach is part of my professional team. He's worked with me on a daily basis and said, I believe you can do this. And then also Australian cycling, especially towards the World Championship races and the Olympics, invested time and finances into what they thought I could do. And I think that, that adds to the confidence. It adds pressure, but it also adds confidence.
Just touching on that pressure, do you feel it before a race? Are you nervous? Are you anxious? Or are you structured and focused? And I've just rattled off a whole lot of different things, but I'm just curious as to know what, before that race, how you're feeling.
Yeah, it's a bit of everything. And each race is different, I think. Like the Olympics was definitely the biggest sort of accumulation of all the emotions. Like definitely leading up to it, there was this anxiousness that I just needed to get to the start line. Because it's a once in every 4-year goal and you're putting a lot of work towards it, and cycling is a dangerous sport, so you can, crash and injure yourself at the worst moment, and then, you could get sick or anything leading up to the race that just takes you out. So, part of me was just desperate to make the start line. And then, once you know that you're going to start this race, it's the anxiousness about, have I done everything that I need to perform at my best? Like, also leading up to the Olympics, like my training in the week up, I just wasn't feeling good. My legs were heavy, so that was really playing on my confidence. Even decisions about the equipment that I was using, you start to question everything. But it became a matter of like, I need to, phase those things out and just concentrate on, doing what I need to in each moment. And that was particularly key within, in the race, to not get overwhelmed.
Playing back that race in your head now, obviously the result was a gold medal. Do you remember most of it through the actual race, or is it starting to blur a little bit with the finish line?
I remember quite a lot of the actual race, because I did, I guess, a lot of mental preparation about the race itself and not so much about the aftermath. So, I wanted to not focus on the result of the race and really put all my energy into, how am I going to take on each aspect of the effort? I know it's going to hurt. I know I need, really being present in every inch of the race. So I feel like I've got quite a clear memory of it all, not so much of pain I felt. Like almost replaying it, it was just like I was just flying, and I didn't experience the pain of it. But it's interesting because my preparation was so focused like that, then I almost struggled afterwards to know how to feel about it, because I hadn't prepared myself for the emotions of winning a gold medal.
That's very interesting. Leading into the race, that you probably weren't thinking about positioning, thinking about giving everything your best shot, and then wherever it lands, it lands. The second that you did cross the line, you've probably been asked this 100 times, but what was that feeling? Was it relief?
No, it was just sort of disbelief. Like and also because I had to wait I was the second last rider to finish. So one of my top competitors was behind me, and I had to wait for her to finish to confirm that I'd won. So, it wasn't real. I don't know what my overwhelming emotion was. Like, I was excited, but
And then the fanfare that comes with it, obviously being one of the first in the Olympics as well. You're not being overly mentally prepared for that. How was that?
Yeah, it was really busy. So straight after the race, I had to do a whole lot of interviews. Oh no, first I think they took me off to anti-doping. So just like straight into the testing, and then came back for the podium interviews with all the media, and then directly taken away to the Channel 9 studio where they were filming with Eddie McGuire and I forget who else was on there. And then, just back-to-back things like that up until I think I got back to the athlete village at maybe 10 p.m. And then even then there was another breakfast interview at midnight. So it was just just kept going.
I'm not prepared for this. I wanted to give it my best shot, and yes, I'm the best in the world, but wow, now I've got a microphone shoved in my face.
And the hard thing was, one of the most, I guess, important things for me was sharing. My family were all there, and I really wanted to share with them the moment, but I was just being dragged around, and literally got to see my parents and my husband for 1 minute.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so it was
mixture of feelings across everything. I'm going to ask one final question about the Olympics regarding the gold medal. What did you do with the gold medal for the 2 weeks? Did you have it around your neck the whole time? Did you guard it with everything that you did? Like, you went to have a shower, you kept it on, all these sort of things. I'd like to know that because you're one of the first in the Olympics, and then you had another 2 weeks to show it off.
Yeah. No. I took it around when people asked me to, but otherwise just tried to keep it safe. But it's even now when I've only just got back to Australia, and anytime I go and catch up with someone, they're like, where's the gold medal?
I'm not telling you.
I forgot that I need to bring that to every social engagement now.
Yeah, that's right. It's sort of like this trick. Oh yeah, that's right. I've got one. I better take it and show it to people. They want to see it. That's right. Yeah. Grace, cycling. You said you came a little bit later in life. Was it your sport of choice early on, and what sort of veered you towards jumping on a bike?
When I was a kid, I guess I just got into running through school competition, and just naturally followed that, doing cross country and track and field, basically, all the way through primary school and high school. I raced at a national level, and during uni I tried to sort of pick that up a bit and tried to to take it a little bit more seriously, to see where I could take it, but I just kept getting injured. I suffered, a series of stress fractures, trying to increase my training. So it sort of, fell flat on its face a little bit. And because of that, I've always been an active person. I wanted to find a different sport as my outlet that was, had a bit of the endurance element that I liked. So I thought cycling would be a good option. My dad had been trying to convince me to pick up cycling for a while. I just eventually decided to go all in, bought a bike, and in Melbourne there's a good scene. It's sort of bunch rides down Beach Road and criterion racing, which is just like you race around a block for an hour. So I really got hooked on that, and just made my way through. I
was going to say
various levels and finally went international.
With cycling, it's obviously very enjoyable for people, but then it becomes professional and it becomes competitive, and there's lots at stake. How did you go about sort of with those blurred lines of having fun versus actually now this is my job?
Yeah, I think you can have fun in training. Like, it's a really social sport. You go out with your mates and ride hard and, try and, I don't know, I find competition fun anyway. So for me, being, a bit competitive and pushing each other is like fun for me. And then you always stop and have a coffee afterwards. That's like the Melbourne or sort of Australian culture of it. But I guess eventually, when I was pro, or just before I turned pro, really had to focus on, doing my training sessions, which meant that I was doing a lot more riding on my own. It's like any team sport. Once you're on a team, then there's the camaraderie on the team, and it's fun in that way. And I mean, I also just enjoy being outdoors, exercising, pushing myself. So it wasn't all doom and gloom out there.
You did touch on injuries before as a kid and the stress fractures. There's obviously a lot of injuries that happen with cycling. When you were injured in cycling and also as a teenager, did you think, this is it, this is a bit too hard to kind of continue? Was there a point there where you thought, I'm just going to throw in the towel, or how are you feeling then?
I don't know. It's a little bit different. We crash. We have very traumatic injuries, and quite often it's like not such a long process to get back on the bike, because usually the injury is not caused by the cycling, it's just caused by falling off. So I think with the running, that's what I really hated, was the fact that it took me out for so long and I had to go in the pool and like do all this really boring stuff to come back. Whereas with cycling, apart from the trauma of crashing, the process of coming back was, not so bad. But there was only one crash really where I got really upset, but like I felt
shaken up.
Like it was almost a near-death experience. And after that, I said, I can't do this anymore. Like, I don't want to die from cycling. I really considered stopping. But it didn't take me long before I started getting back on the bike and sort of putting that in the back of my mind. I don't know. I think it's this weird mentality of athletes that, you think you're going to throw it all in, and then next thing you know, you're training again.
You'd mentioned stopping then and throwing in the towel. You have stopped now. There's a decision that was made to stop this year, earlier on this year. A lot of people would have asked you why you've stopped, I suppose, this young and also at the peak of your career when there might be some more. I'm curious as to know what Grace Brown's thinking now in regards to a BHAG or a goal in the next few years.
Yeah, I think especially in the last week or two since I've stopped, I've realised that I'm really, in a way, addicted to having goals that I'm working towards. So that's something that I need to work on. I've got a business and product that I'm trying to develop at the moment. So that's a challenge. But yeah, I don't know whether I also need a physical goal to put in there. But yeah, I don't know. It's strange stopping. But I also felt like, I guess in the past I found it hard to step away from cycling because I've felt like I had so much to achieve in the sport. But now I've achieved more than I could have dreamt of, and I know what going all in has returned for me. So that's why I'm satisfied to stop now.
What do you think your relationship with cycling will be in the future? Do you want to stay with it, stay within the game, or is it a sort of a separation anxiety?
No, I want to stay involved because I'm still really passionate about the sport and passionate about women in sport. So, I'm trying to stay connected. I've actually taken on a role as president of the board of the Cyclist Alliance, which is basically the riders' union, the women's riders' union. So I'm, really excited about that role and what I can do there and help continue to grow the sport in a positive direction for the riders. I'm staying involved, and I still enjoy riding my bike, so I'll be out riding my bike. But yeah, a little bit more for fun. No proper training.
No early starts, no long rides. I suppose there'll be a little bit of you that misses that, but also a little bit of you that doesn't miss that as well. And then you probably have to find your own little structure in terms of, your own fitness and also your structure in life, yeah?
Yeah, I definitely really enjoy being fit. So, but I realistically know that I have to let that go a bit and just be a healthy fit rather than a
up here elite super fit. Yeah, that's right. That's right. You have to let it go a little bit, but obviously not too much, etc. Because we've got Grace. I've interviewed a few people now, and I throw some words at them, and you can say yes or no whether that's you or not. I'm just it'd be interesting to find out whether you are these types of traits. I'm going to start with the word creative.
Yes.
Adaptable.
Yes.
Are you a calm person before a race, or are you a pump-up person?
I'm a calm person, yeah.
So music and cycling, is it calm music or is it no music?
It depends. I like music just to put me in a happy mood, but not as an energizer necessarily.
Are you patient?
Yeah.
Empathetic?
Yeah.
Superstitious?
No.
Not superstitious?
No.
Wow, interesting. Most of the people have always put the left shoe on first, or if I'm feeling like Carl Bruton the other day was saying if he wakes up and his left eye's winking or something, it's going to be a good day. It's always been in his life. Wow.
Yeah, really? No, I don't have any rituals or anything other than proven things that help my performance. But if it's just I wore this specific thing and had a good race, so I'm going to wear it again. No.
Optimistic.
Yes.
In life or with cycling or just generally?
I think generally, like, also not just like future facing. Like, I'm really in my mind, I forget negative experiences, sort of. I just pick out the good memories from the past. Like, so yeah, for example, if there's been sort of a hard period that I've been through, and then I'll reflect on it and I'll be like, oh no, actually it wasn't that bad. It was, like, we got through it. And so I don't know, I don't tend to dwell on the bad bits.
Selfish.
Some situations where I need to be, but I don't think I'm natural. I don't think I'm intrinsically selfish. But as an athlete, occasionally you need to be.
And you mentioned this before, and I'm curious to know where it has come from. Competitive.
Yes.
Where's the competitive nature come from? Is it from your early days of just watching things or being around people or wanting to win? Where's the competitive edge come from for Grace Brown?
Yeah, from when I was growing up. Like, I'm the only girl with 3 brothers, and I don't know if that is that naturally leads to being competitive at all. Like, but yeah, I always
siblings are competitive.
Yeah,
yep.
I always competed against my brothers. It didn't faze me that I was a girl and they were a boy. Like, I wanted to be, I wanted to try and beat them in whatever we did, whether it was like mum and dad even sometimes gave us like math challenges to like see who could do things the fastest, or I don't know. There was always just like an element of competition. We'd play games and like card games, board games, races, like anything. And I was really into that, probably more so than my brothers, especially when I was beating them at things they tended to not want to compare. So, I don't know whether it's nature or nurture, but yeah, my dad's also very competitive, so maybe I got it off him.
And one final one, do you believe that you're a leader, in terms of leadership? Do you feel like you can be captain of things and take the front foot and say, come with me, people? And
it's something that I guess like I almost actively seek out. Like, I like being a leader. Definitely in my professional team, I took on a bit of that role. They wanted me to be a leader on the team, and I was quite happy to do it. So yeah, I enjoy that.
Grace, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for giving us a little bit of an insight into Grace Brown on the Scoreboard podcast. Congratulations on 2024, but I'm not only going to congratulate you on 2024, but also your entire cycling career that has now come to an end that you can look back on and be extremely proud of. And now you've got the next journey of life into other things and other goals and other businesses, etc., that you're involved in. And I really do appreciate your time and thank you again.
Thanks so much for having me, Chris. It's been great.